Hi everybody, this is Jen from Woollywonkas. Welcome back to my channel. So, the day has come. I am going to show you today how to make one of these very cute little guys. Lots of you have been asking me, so I thought, yeah, let's do it. So, as I've explained to you before about these little guys, they are crocheted using the single crochet. If you're in the US, this will be a single crochet. If you're in the UK, it will be a double crochet. This style of crocheting is also known as amigurumi, which is the a Japanese term for small stuffed knitted toy or crocheted, if you like. So we are going to be working this video in two parts. We are going to be working the first part where I show you how to make the main body like a pill shape, and then in the second video we will concentrate on the detail, so the eye, the hair, the keyring, the mouth and so on. Now, it's worth mentioning that this tutorial is more for those of you who are competent with a single crochet stitch, who do know how to increase and decrease, and do know how to work in rounds. If you are not confident with this tutorial, please do refer back to my video where I show you how to do a single crochet, and I will be doing some future tutorials on how to do increases and decreasing. So please don't worry, you know, if you're not quite there yet, because you definitely will get there. This is more for those of you that are ready to dive straight in and have a go. Okay, so I am using I'm using some slightly thicker yarn today for this tutorial, so I just pop those there. I am using a yellow acrylic mix. You can see actually it's a slightly different colour, but as long as it's a bright yellow it doesn't really matter. Then I'm using some blue that I have, which is the Red Heart Super Soft. Absolutely love this yarn. Then for the eye I am using some grey DK yarn. All of this yarn is double knit, which will be a medium or light worsted in the US. So I'm using some grey for the eye. This is actually Aldi double knit, which is available here in the UK. And then I'm just using some standard black double knit yarn for the eye and the mouth and the hair and the detail. Okay, so and then you need some fibre fill, some nice soft fibre fill for stuffing. So this tutorial we are working in the round, so let's get started. So we work from the top down, so we are going to use our yellow to start with, and we are going to do a slip knot. For those of you who have watched my other videos, you'll know how to do this. So we are working a slip knot and popping that onto our hook. Okay, there we go. Oh, also, yes, hooks. Now, with these ones I did actually use a 3mm crochet hook because my tension is slightly tighter. For this tutorial I'm going to use a Clover 4.5mm crochet hook. That's a size 7 in the US. Just slightly bigger because I'm using a slightly thicker yarn. So I don't generally bother with magic rings. I'm not really that keen on them. I do see that they have their benefits, but I like to chain 2 and work all my stitches into that second stitch. So the way we do this, I am going to chain 2, and then in my second stitch, so not the one nearest the hook but the one furthest away near the knot, I am going to work 6 single crochets into that hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now please do feel free to use a stitch marker. I don't, because I find it a bit too, it gets in the way and this is quite fiddly. But if you're not sure and you want to count your stitches, I always recommend taking out your hook and count your stitches from the loop round. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that last little guy in there, 6. Okay, so this is 6 single crochets, which gives us the all fingers and thumbs. There we go. There we are. So we have our 6 single crochets. Let's just snip that tail a little bit actually, because it's getting in the way there. If your tail does get in the way, you can carry it round and crochet round it if you like. So we have our 6 single crochets. Now we want to make this bigger. So what we are doing now, so you can't see because of the hair, but we have our 6 single crochets, and now we are on round 2, where we are going to work 2 single crochets into every single one of these stitches. So our first stitch will be the first one that you can see, and make sure you are going under both of the loops. If you're not sure, just turn it to the side so you can see both of your loops. So we're going in, pulling through, yarn over and through. So instead of putting 1 single crochet into that stitch, we are putting 2, and that is what we call an increase. So we have 2 in the first stitch. In the next stitch we want another 2. So we're going in, pulling our yarn through, yarn over, through 2, into the same stitch again, pulling through, 2 stitches on our hook, yarn over, through 2. And we want to do that all the way round until we get back to the beginning. So we are working 2 single crochets into every single stitch, which gives us our 12 stitches. Okay, so I will just carry on and then meet you guys round at the beginning. Like I say, if you're not sure about your counting, you can use a stitch marker or a piece of yarn to mark it, but I'm kind of used to the counting now. So again, if you pull your hook up, just to double check, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In fact, I've put too many in there. That's because I was chatting. There we go. Now, we're not joining these rounds at each end. We're actually working continuously into the round. So we have our 6 in round 1. We have our 12 in round 2. Now, this next round is slightly different because we still want to make this circle bigger. We don't want to just do 1 in every single round, otherwise it will cut. We want this to be bigger. So what we do, we put 1 in our first stitch and 2 in the next. 1 in the next and 2 in the next. 1 in the next and 2 in the next. So we are working 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. How you say it, how you abbreviate it is entirely up to you. Everybody that I've taught has a different way of counting and a different way of doing it. It's not wrong, it's your way, and it's entirely up to you. Okay, some go 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Some go 1 and increase, 1 and increase, but it's entirely up to you. There is no right or wrong way, it's whatever you're comfortable with. So if you're not sure, like me, where you've just gone, if you just stretch it slightly, so I've just put 2 stitches into that one. So the next one is 1. And then the next one is 2. So you are increasing 6 single crochets on every round. So your 6 times table will come very useful for this particular kind of design. Okay, so we are going all the way round until we reach 18. So you can see the pattern. We've got 6, 12, and now we're going to 18. Okay, so I am almost at the end of that round, and I'm just going to double check. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I want to pop a single crochet in there and then a 2 single crochets in the last one. So that's round 3 completed. So we have 6, 12, 18. Now we need to do one more round with making this circle slightly bigger because we need to get to 24. So to do this, we will put a single crochet in the first stitch and in the next stitch. So you've got 2 next to each other, then an increase. So you're going 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, I'm doing an increase in this one, and then 2 single ones next to each other, and then back to an increase. So then 2 next to each other, then back to an increase, and then 2 next to each other, and then back to an increase. And you want to do this until you reach 24 stitches. So if I just continue around and meet you guys back at the end. And this design, this working in rounds, this applies to so many you know, crochet toys and things like that. And if you're making a hat, it would apply as well if you were doing it in a bigger stitch. So I'm just going to check to see how many I've got. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now our increases have stopped. So this is the equivalent to the top of the minion's head. So we have round 1, which is 6, round 2, which is 12, round 3, which is 18, and round 4, which is 24. So now what we want to do, we want to do 3 rounds, just 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every single stitch. So single crochet in every single stitch until you have done your 3 rounds, and then I will meet you back here to go on to the next step. Okay. Hi, so we are back now and I have reached round 7. So we have 6, 12, 18, 24, and then we have 3 rounds of our single crochet in every stitch. So we've worked the head and we are now moving on to the body. So if you can see where we are here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add the black headband. Now, the way I like to do this, the way I like to change colour, I think it gives it a neater finish, is I would continue to do another stitch, another single crochet with my yellow. But rather than pull over with the yellow to complete the stitch, I will be pulling over with the new colour. Just have to hold it at the back, so it can be a bit fiddly, and pull through with the new colour. Can you see? And then I go straight in and complete that stitch with the new colour. And it just makes it a little bit more seamless, and then you can pull down at the back. So before you yarn over on your last stitch, if you pull through with the new colour and complete the stitch with that yarn. Okay, so then I am going to work a single crochet all the way round until we get back to the beginning, and then I will show you a little trick that I have learnt that means that you don't get the jog that you sometimes get with stripes. You know, there really is no guaranteed way to avoid that, but there are kind of little tips and tricks that you can do to certainly make it look a bit better. So we're almost there. I don't really like working with black yarn, so I'm glad that the light is very good today and that we're only actually doing the one row, the one round, so it's not too bad. Right, so I have stopped, if you can see, a stitch before I complete my round. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to still work into that stitch and pull through, but then what I'm going to do, I am going to go right underneath, almost 2 rows below, and pull up and just slip stitch. And if you pull your yellow down and your black down at the back, you'll see that you have a slight, I mean it's not brilliant, but it's still neater than it would be had you carried on. So I'm just going to show you that one more time, just for those of you that can't quite see it. So we have worked the last single crochet, and then if you can just see right below, so not into the top, into the stitch below, and then pull up and then yarn over and complete your stitch. Okay, so that is how you would do a seamless join. Now we want to join the yellow back on. We've still got the yellow here, so to do that I'm showing you both ways as if you would be joining it yourself. So to do that, we would, like I say, right down underneath and pull up. But instead of completing with this one, we can actually snip our black off now. We don't need our black for the moment. So taking your yellow yarn, let's pop those guys out of the way, you would then complete your stitch with the yellow. Okay, and just pull down everything at the back. You can knot the 2 pieces of yarn at the back if you want to, it's entirely up to you. So now what we will be doing, we will be continuing this round, and we will be doing 1 single crochet in every single stitch, and we will be doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. So you want 4 rounds of single crochet in the yellow, 1 stitch in every stitch until you have completed those 4 rounds, and then I will meet you back here.